Welcome to Simply Pi Maths.
So let's learn how to solve simultaneous equations using graphical method. So I have taken two equations here, x plus y equal to 6 and x minus y equal to 4. Now I need to solve these equations using graphical method. That means ultimately the aim is the same. I need to find the value of x and y using graphical method. Okay, so let's see how to do that now. So for that, at the very first place, what we have to do is we have to consider one of these equation. Okay, I will just write a solution and I will consider one of this equation. Let's say the very first equation, x plus y equal to 6. Okay, so in this case you don't have to number this equation or anything as we used to do in solving two simultaneous equation. We used to number the equations, right? But for graphical method there is no need of numbering or anything as such. What you have to do is consider the first equation, and in this first equation try to isolate an alphabet. So when I say isolate an alphabet means you have to keep x alone in one side or y alone in one side. It is your choice. You can select any alphabet for that purpose. So I am selecting x. So what I will try to do is I will try to keep x in one side of this equation. That means what? I have to get rid of this y, right? So the simple way is I will keep this 6 over here and I will bring this y beside this 6. So it will become minus y. Why minus y? Because it was plus y over here, right? So when it jumps over here, it will become minus y. So by that, I have an equation with me, which is x is equals to 6 minus y. Now what I will do is, using this equation, I will try to find few numbers. So when I say I will try to find few numbers, what I mean is, I will write something like x, y and x comma y. Okay, and I will create a table like this. So in this table my aim is to identify three sets of number. So I will just make three columns for that purpose. So in this, what I have to do is I have to put any value of y in this equation which I have identified right now. Any value of y, it is your choice. Okay, just think of any random value of y. So let's say I am thinking of 2. So if I put y as 2, I have to just see when I put 2 over here, what will be the value of x will become like? That means 6 minus 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. So x will be like 4. Correct? Then think of some other value of y. You can think of any random value. Let me just take 0 to be the simplest one. So if I take the value as 0, 6 minus 0 will be 6. So x will be ultimately 6. And again another value of y, the last value of y. So I have took 0, I have took 2. I can take some negative value also, but I don't prefer taking a negative value because calculations will become unnecessarily tricky. So let me just keep it as 1, simple as 1. So if I put the value as 1 over here, what will this become? 6 minus 1. So x will be 6 minus 1 means 5. Okay, so we have three sets of value. Let me write this as 4 and 2. So I will write 4 comma 2, 6 and 0, 6 comma 0, and 5 and 1, 5 comma 1. So I'm sure you might have done such activity in your lower class as well. So the ultimate aim of getting three set of such numbers is to plot a graph, plot a line graph in the graph paper. Okay, so we'll do it later, but let's focus on the other equation also. So this is my second equation, right? This one. So I will do the same activity with the second equation also. Let me do it over here beside. So what I will do is I will just take this equation, x minus y is equals to 4. And I will do the same activity over here. I will try to isolate one alphabet. So here also x is the best one to isolate. So I will keep x over here. I will keep 4 over here. I will just bring this y over here as plus y. Okay, then the same thing, x, y and x comma y. And now what? I will just make a table like this. And here I need how many set of values? 3 set of values, correct? So let me just make 3 columns like this. And now I will put different values of y to get corresponding values of x. So first let me put 1 over there. So if I put 1, 4 plus 1 will become 5. If I put 0, 4 plus 0 will become 4. And let me put some other value like 2. So if I put 2 over here, it is 4 plus 2, it will become 6. So here also I have 3 sets of value, 5 comma 1, 4 comma 0 and 6 comma 2. So this is the very first thing that you have to do. After this, you have to take a graph paper and you have to try to plot a line for this equation and a line for this equation using these 3 points that you have identified. So let's see how to plot this in a graph paper. So I have plot a graph like this. So probably you can do this on a graph paper. So for simplicity, I have just kept it on my rule sheet. So here I have used all 1 centimeter as 1 unit. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, I have used the table of 1. I have used the distance as 1 everywhere, both on x-axis and on y-axis. The reason is because the numbers that I have over here are small numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. So with that with that expectation, I have to write a scale over here. So what I will write the scale as? Scale is, let me just write here, scale is on both axes, what I am doing, 1 centimeter is equals to 1 unit. Clear? So the thing is like, because I am using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, and in y-axis also I am just using 1, 2, 3, 4 and minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. That is the reason why I am writing 1 centimeter equals to 1 unit. If I was using some 2's table like 2, 4, 6, 8, I would have to write 1 centimeter equals to 2 unit. Okay. So now let's get into this graph plotting activity. So I will just focus on this table first and then I will go to the next table. So in the first table, what is my number over here? It is 4 comma 2. So let's see how to identify 4 comma 2 in this graph. So 4 comma 2, right? So in order to get 4 comma 2, just remember this. On x-axis, look for 4 and then go 2 step upwards. What I said, on x-axis identify 4, that means on x-axis identify 4, this is your 4. Then what's the next number? It's 2. 2 means it is positive 2, right? Positive 2 means you have to just go 2 step above. So 1, 2. So somewhere over here, this is your 4 comma 2. Okay, once you have it, I suggest that just put a dot over there and just do a circle like this so that we can identify that this is my 4 comma 2. And similarly 6 comma 0 means what? On x-axis look for 6 and go 0 steps upwards. That means what? On x-axis I will look for 6 and 0 step upwards means I don't have to move anywhere, right? I just have to stand over there. So that is my 6 comma 0. And finally 5 comma 1 means on x-axis look for 5 and then move 1 step upward. That means on x-axis I will look for 5 and then I will move 1 step upward. So it is somewhere over here. So this is 5 comma 1. So once I have these 3 points, what I will do is I will just simply draw my line. Okay, so it will go something like this. So once my line has been drawn, what I will do is on this line. So simply what you have to do is you have to join these 3 points and you have to simply draw a line. And once you do it on a graph paper, you will exactly see all the 3 points coming on a same line. So you have to just join them and draw a straight line. And once the line is drawn, you have to write the equation of this line on top of this line itself. So what is equation of this line? So just go up and see what was this equation. So when I say equation, you have to look at the very first equation, okay? Not the modified equation that you created by isolating one alphabet, right? You have to look at this equation. What is the equation? X plus y equal to 6. So simply write that equation over here, x plus y equal to 6. That means this equation represents this line. And similarly, let's put the effort for the next box as well. I leave it up to you. You can just give it a try. So what you have to do is you have to see, you have to look for 5 on x-axis, look for 5 on x-axis, then move one step upward, means one step up. So it is the same point that I identified before also for the other box. Similarly 4 comma 0, how to identify 4 comma 0? On x-axis you have to look for 4 and then you have to move 0 step upwards. That means you have to just stand over here, right? So this is 4 comma 0. Then what's the last one? 6 comma 2. On x-axis identify 6 and go 2 step upward. That means somewhere over here, 2 step upward. So it will be 6 comma 2. If it was 6 comma minus 2, I would have to go 2 step below. Okay. So since it is a positive number, I am just going 2 step upward. So it will be somewhere over here. And then what I will do is I will join these 3 points and I will draw a straight line. And then again the same thing. On this line, just write the equation of the line. What is the equation of the line, by the way? This is the equation of the line, right? So x minus y equal to 4. Just write the equation over here, x minus y equal to 4. You can write it anywhere, over here or over here. Wherever there is some space, just write the equation neatly. So after drawing this, what did you identify? That both the lines are intersecting each other, correct? Both the lines are intersecting each other at a point over here. So you have to write the same thing just below the graph, or else you can leave the graph paper and come to the rule sheet paper where you have created these boxes and all, and in this paper you have to just write a line that will be the solution for your equation. So you will write like, since the lines, what are the lines doing? Are intersecting each other at which point are they intersecting each other at? 5 comma 1, right? Isn't it? It is intersecting each other at 5 comma 1. So intersects each other at 5 comma 1. So that means what? Therefore this is your position for x and this is your position for y, isn't it? So that means your x value is 5 and y value is 1. And finally you have the answer for x and y using graphical method. Now let's see another tricky sum to solve linear equation using graphical method. So the equation is something like 3x minus 4y is equals to minus 7, and the other equation is, let me write it over here, it is 5x minus 2y is equals to 0. Let's see how tricky this sum is. So first of all I will write solution. Again the same activity we have to do. We have to solve these equations using graphical method. So ultimately I need to find the value of x and y using graph. So let's see. So first of all I will just take the first equation, 3x minus 4y equals to minus 7. And then as I said earlier, I don't have to number this equation or anything. Just what I need to do is I need to isolate one of the alphabet. So over here isolating an alphabet will be a bit tricky, right? Because both the alphabets have some or the other number with it. This was not the case in the previous sum. Previous sum was a very easy sum. So let's see how to do this sum. So first of all what I will do is I will try to keep this 3x in one side. So with that intention I will write 3x is equals to minus 7. Why minus 7? Because already minus 7 is there on the other side, right? I will just keep that minus 7 and then I will bring this minus 4y over here. So it will become plus 4y. Fine. Then ultimately what I will do is I want x on one side, right? So I will bring this 3 below because it is multiplied by 3. So what will happen is like when it comes this side it will become divided by 3. What divide by 3? Minus 7 plus 4y divided by 3. Okay. So the ultimate goal is achieved. I need x on one side isolated. I have x over here and remaining all the things are on the other side. Once this is achieved, what I will do is I will start creating that box, correct? So I will write x, y, x comma y, and what else? I will just create a box like this where I need 3 different values, right? Now let's see how to brainstorm to identify 3 different values. I will do the same thing again. I will think of some value for the variable y. I will put it over here I will solve this part and I will identify the value of x. Okay. So let's see how to do that part. Okay. So in order to get such a proper value of x, you don't have to think of any random value of y. That is the first thing over here. Then what you need to do, right? So you need to think a value of y, putting over here, which will solve this numerator to give a number which is divisible by 3. Only then it will make sense, correct? Because when you put some value of y over here, when you calculate this above numerator, and if you get something which can be cancelled by 3, then it will be easier to get the proper value of x. Otherwise, what will happen? Ultimately, if something remains over here which cannot be cancelled by 3, plotting such a value of x on graph paper will be difficult for us, isn't it? So let's start thinking of different values of y, and we'll start putting those values of y in a rough work. And then what? Ultimately, once we get a value of y which is solving this numerator to a number which is divisible by 3, then we are done, right? That is the value of y that we have to target for. So let me think like this. If I put a value 0 over here, what will happen? 0 means what? 4 times 0, right? So it will become minus 7 plus 0. That means minus 7. Minus 7 upon 3. Can it be cancelled? No. That means 0 is not a correct value of y. That can be picked up. Let me think of some other value. So 0 is discarded. Let me think of 1. If I put 1 over here, what will it become? Minus 7 plus 4 ones are 4. Minus 7 plus 4. What is minus 7 plus 4? Minus 7 plus 4 means plus minus minus. When you do a subtraction, 4, 5, 6, 7, it will give you 3. And sign of the bigger number obviously. So minus will be the sign over here. And what is in the numerator, by the way? Numerator, it is 3. So tell me, will this 3 cancel this 3? But obvious, it will get cancelled, and what will remain? It will give me answer as 1. That means if I put the value as 1 in place of y, after doing all the calculations, I will get just 1 with a negative sign. So it means if I put y as 1, I will get x as minus 1. Correct? So now similar way, so 1 is done. So let me try with some other number, because I need 2 more sets of such number, right? So let me put 2. 2 means what? Here I will put 2, it will become 4 2s are 8. So minus 7 plus 8. What is minus 7 plus 8? Minus 7 plus 8. So plus minus minus, so it will be 1, correct? Isn't it? 1 and positive 1 probably, because 8 is a positive number. And here this cannot be cancelled. That means 2 is not a correct number to pick in such situation. So let me think of something else. 0, 1, 2 are done. Let me just think of a number like 3 now. So if I put 3 over here, what will it become? 3 4s are 12, right? So it will become something like minus 7 plus 12. Isn't it? Think about this, plus minus minus. So if I do a subtraction, what will be 12 minus 7? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It is 5, isn't it? And sign of the bigger number is a positive, but ultimately in denominator we have 3, which cannot cancel 5. So that means using 3 is not a good option. So what else is remaining? Shall I proceed ahead with some more number like that? Or we have another route, we can think about some negative numbers also. Okay. So let me just think of 4 as well. Let me see if positive 4 works over here for our condition. So let me just put 4. So 4 means over here I will put 4, and it will become 4 4s are 16. So minus 7 plus 16. Let me think of it. What will this give me? Minus 7 plus 16. Plus minus minus. 16 is the bigger number, so positive sign will come over here. So when I subtract them, what it will give me? It will give me 9, which can be cancelled by 3. 3 1s are 3 3s are. So I am getting a proper number over here. So when is this achievable? Whenever I am putting the value of y as 4. So when I put the value of y as 4, I am getting the number value of x as 3. Okay. So if you see, I am just going in a very proper manner, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 worked out. I will just try for 5 as well to get one more pair. If 5 doesn't work, rather than going to 6, 7, first I will try some negative numbers. Okay. So that is the approach that I use basically. So I try to put positive numbers till 5. and if I get some values, well and good. If I don't get, then I will try the same route with the negative values, -1, -2, -3, -4 and -5. In most of the cases, within these negative numbers and positive numbers, that means from 0 to 5 and 0 to -5, we usually get 3 set of numbers in most of the cases. Okay, so let's see if 5 works out. So if I put 5, what will this become? 5 4s are 20. So it will be -7 plus 20. -7 plus 20. That means what? It will be 13, right? 13. Can 13 be cancelled by 3? No. So that means using 5 is not a good option. So yeah, I am just left with one more pair to be identified. So what I will do now, I will just go for a negative route. Negative means what? I will just try with some negative numbers like -1, -2, -3 and so on. Let me try with -1. We have to be a bit careful over here because negative numbers usually creates confusion. So let's see how to tackle this. So when I put -1, the first number is anyways -7, that will not get impacted. When I put -1 over here in place of y, it will become -4. So minus plus, when we add them, it will give me 11 with the bigger number sign -11 upon 3. Now 3 cannot cancel -11 or 11. So basically taking -1 is not a good option. Let me try for -2. So when I put -2, what will this become? When I put -2 over here, it will be -8, isn't it? -2 into 4 is -8. So now minus will become plus. If I add them, it will become 15. And bigger number sign is -15 upon 3. 3 can cancel 15. 3 ones are 3 5s are. So I am left with -5. That means yes, this is a good number to pick. What is that number? -2. If I put y as -2, I will get x value as -5. Done. So I have 3 pair of numbers, -1, 1, 3 and 4 and -5 and -2. I understand it is a bit tricky, but it is interesting if you follow a good pattern. So just to repeat, what you have to do is, first you have to try from 0 to 5. In that in that path, actually you will get a couple of numbers, couple of pairs. And if you are left with any pair to be identified, let's say in this case I was left with one more last pair. So then what you do, instead of trying with 6, go to the negative way around, -1 to -5. Over there in that path, you will get at least one pair which will satisfy, and you will get a proper set of number. Fine then. So we are ready with 3 set of number for this line at least. Now we have to use a similar route for the next equation. What is the next equation, by the way? Next equation is 5x minus 2y. I will write it over here. 5x minus 2y is equals to 0. Let's do the same thing. Let's try to isolate one alphabet. So what I will do is, I will keep 5x over here. I will send this minus 2y over here. Here there is nothing, just 0. So simply minus 2y will jump over here. It will become 2y. Then what? I will keep x here. I will keep 2y here. I will just bring this 5 below. So it will become divided by 5. Fine. Now we have to again think of few values of y which will give me value for x. So I will write x, y, x comma y. Here it will be more simpler, I believe. Let's see what will happen now. So I will just create a box like this. Fine. And now I will think of few values of y which will do my work. So now the best thing is like, let me think of a value of 0. So if I put the value of 0 in place of y, what this will become? 2 times 0 is 0. 0 divided by anything is 0. So the value of x will also be 0. So this was the best thing to think about, like best number to think about, y. And let me now this time, if I put values of y like 1, 2, 3, I am sure that it will not work out. The reason is because we have to multiply this by 2. So the best thing is like, think about values of y which can be cancelled by 5. That will be the best part in this situation, isn't it? So let me think of 5 itself. Think like, if I am putting 5 over here, what will it become? 5 will get bye. So I will be just left with 2. And similarly, let me just, instead of putting the next value as 10, I know if I put 10, 5 ones are, 5 twos are, 2 twos are will become 4. So if I put 10, I will get 4 ultimately. But instead of using the value of 10, I suggest to put the value as minus 5. That will be a best option. Why? If you put minus 5, 5 and 5 will get cancelled, just that minus ka sign will remain. So 2 and that minus will become minus 2. So still I have some smaller numbers. Instead of going to 10, using minus 5 will be the best option over here. So what I am left with, 0, 0, 2, 5 and minus 2, minus 5. So I have the values over here and I have few values over here, and as we did the last sum, now if you plot these points on a graph paper, and if you draw a straight line, and if you plot these points on a graph paper and if you draw a straight line, ultimately you will see both the lines intersecting at one point, which will give you the value of x and y. I want you to take a pause over here, draw a graph for this line and this line and identify the point of intersection. In which ways I will be drawing it for you and I will showing you the ultimate result, but just take a pause on this video, draw this graph by yourself and then resume back. So I hope you might have got a graph something like this. Fine. Okay, if I go for these values like minus, 1, so what you have to do is on x-axis you have to stand on minus 1 and then you have to go one step up. So that's what I did over here. I just stood on minus 1 and I just went one step up. Similarly, when it comes to some value like negative value, minus 2, minus 5, I have to stand on minus 2 and minus 5 means I have to go 5 steps down, right? So I went to minus 2 and I went 5 steps down. So I got something over here, minus 2 and 5 steps down over here. So this was my point. Okay. So similarly, I just plotted all the other points and I got a graph something like this, where I could see the lines are intersecting each other at this point, right? So that means I have to identify the value of this point to get my final answer. So let's see how to identify values of these points. So it is nothing else but from this point, just see who is standing at x position. I mean, for this point, just see on x-axis what is the number for this point. So I could see it is 1. And then write the 1 over here in the first position. Then in order to identify the next value, on y-axis, see which number is there which is representing this point. So if I look at this point, so this is something between 2 and 3. Between 2 and 3 means it is 2.5, isn't it? So I have the value for this point, it is 1 and 2.5. So finally I will write my answer as, since the lines intersect each other, since line intersects each other at which point? 1, 2.5. That means my value of x is 1 and my value of y is 2.5, and hence I have the value of x and y using graphical method.